Hi, I'm the owner and developer for Synix. I wanted to demonstrate what Synix is and what it's capable of doing to help anyone that wants to start their own game server without the hassle of commands and file locations. So this demonstration and preview of Synix will show you how easy it is to host your own game server right off your computer. So the way I made Synix is so that it is a standalone lightweight software that will pretty much allow you to host your own games with just a few buttons and clicks. So it's just basically a control panel that's a point and click control panel. Made it easy for anyone. There is no plugins that you need. There's no risk of getting plugins from someone that may destroy your computer. So it's very safe when it comes to that. Everything is internal only. There is over 250 games pre-template, meaning that you can choose over 250 games and play it, host it off your computer, and be able to play it. And your game should show up in the master list of Steam that all games use to pull active servers to be shown in their games. So when you can go to GitHub and get the executable file. There is no installation file, so it's not going to try to install itself into your computer or nothing. So it's a straight out exe file, extractable. So you could take it and put it on any computer, no installation. All you do is just download it, start it up. When you start it up, it'll automatically already start downloading Steam CMD into your computer in the C drive Synix folder. Synix does not put itself into any Windows program file folders like programs or anything like that in the C drive. It stays out of all that. And it will never ask you to allocate admin privileges to it. So you can see right now I have two servers here. This is what I was using for development. So I have two servers. They're all set up. And this demonstration I'm going to show you from installing the server right to connecting to the server and see it on the server, on the game server list. So the install server is very simple. Go down to server actions, install server. You'll get this window. Don't think this isn't, it may look overwhelming. It's not. A lot of this is locked. So meaning, while there's no server name, no pick game, all this is locked. You can't click on it, can't do anything. The way this settings works is based on the game. So if I put in testing, and then let's do testing video, and then we'll pick a game. Well, I'm going to use Soulmask because I already have it running on my computer, the game. So we select it. Now things are going to start unlocking only for what that game needs. So if it's got PvP, PvE, you can choose. So we're going to pick PvE. I'm going to pick the map. I'm going to pick the new one that came out. Now, World Seed, you see, it's locked. Archon, locked. Anything Archon, locked. That's because the game doesn't use that stuff, so it keeps it locked. So you can't mess up your own server. You can't mess up the server and add things that doesn't need. So, all right, now we're gonna pick max player. So we're gonna say you want a 500 server. And then there is a port checker in the settings. It will not let you use ports that are already used. So it's saying that this port right here is conflicted. So I actually have to change it. And I am transparent. I will show you any bugs right now that has it bugs right now. There are a few, but I'm working on them to fix them. So we're gonna change the port. And add port, this is usually used for like Rust Plus and stuff like that. So we set all that. It still said this is a bug. The message hasn't changed because even though we changed the port, it's for some reason tied to this. So folder location is where if you want to choose your own folder, like you hit browse. I'm not going to do it for security reasons and privacy, but you can click on this, choose a folder where you want to save your server location. So I'm going to use default. Default is basically C drive, Synix, and all the Synix default stuff is in that folder. Now, oh, so now it's saying conflicting with the name. So we'll just change that to that. Okay, so now it's ready for that. So and then you also see the save button actually unlocked. Now with SoulMatch we can add a password because it's part of the argument. So we're gonna go test, and then we're gonna go testing 1 2 3 4 5 6. All right, now we get down to here. You're gonna see this is a bug where it says required. It's technically a feature where it will, if it's on, it will do an update on start, meaning it will start an update on your game's server files when you click the start button. And with schedule, you just activate it, hit this, and then pick your days. So you can pick any day. You don't need a corn job or anything to edit. It's all simple. So we're gonna say 4:30 in the morning. So 4:30, save. Okay, and I already explained this. Start our update in the beginning when you start your server. It'll do that first before starting the server. So we're gonna just turn it on anyway. Back up to start. This is what it's basically the same thing as update, but except this one is where it will back up the whole server and put it into a zip folder in the Synix directory. So we're going to turn that on, and that will start before the server even turns on and starts running. So you have a backup of your server. So if the server starts up, there's a problem, you can go to the backup and grab the files and restore it. So, and then there's Discord alerts. You just need to have a web hook made. Go to your Discord, go to settings, go to integrations, go to webhooks. You can create a new webhook or have one. I already have one created. So I'm going to just copy it. Alright, now we're going to go back to here. I'm not worried about the webhook because it doesn't display the whole thing. You can't see the whole thing. So we're just going to put it in. There is a test button. It will send a post to your webhook wherever you put it in your Discord. So I'm not going to click this because it will display some information that I don't want to show, and I will show you the alerts later. Now we get to where it says launch arguments. Arguments are basically that tells the server what ports to listen on, what IP it's listening on, or what's the server name, or what's the max players. It's pretty much telling the server the information that you just set in this panel. So the other thing is, I am big on transparency. I will show you everything, and even the default arguments that are being used to show you that there's no argument injection being done, meaning that it's sending code to the injection or the argument when it fires up the server that can maybe destroy your hard drive or whatever. So I do show you everything. This is all hard coded into the database with the games. There's no editing. Nobody can edit this. It's all internal. All right, we're gonna close this. But if you are more advanced and understand arguments with servers and you've been playing with them long enough, you can add extra arguments into it and it will run them along with the default one. But that's a little bit more advanced. You would have to do research on the game and server and get the arguments you want and what they use. So we're gonna hit save server. So now what it's going to do, you'll see it here, and it's now installing. It's using Steam CMD to install the game server. Now, it may look like it's frozen. It's not. There is an issue between Windows and command prompt and Synix on the communication. Windows and Steam CMD, the way they print out their log on the command prompt, has issues on trying to stream that in real time to Synix. But it isn't frozen. It will dump the whole log, usually depending on the game, if it's a big game or a small game. If it's a big game, it'll do it in chunks. Smaller game, and it can dump the whole thing in at once. But you'll see it pop up. But the other thing in this is you will see things like this hidden for video. These are not hidden for you. You will see your public IP that is seen on the internet. LAN IP is basically your IP that is literally your router that your computer's IP to the router, because your router gives your IP its own IP. So you just seen that the log all dropped at once. This is what I was talking about. And in the log, you will see where it says success, reapplied missing files to the SolMass server. When you do Steam CMD, it doesn't always install every file. There are times you actually have to copy Steam's DLL files and put them in the game server's folder. And you got to know which folder. So Synix is already doing that for you. You don't have to do that. If the server needs to create a file, like a config file for a server, or copy files from Steam, it does it for you. There is nothing you have to do. There is no folder searching, nothing like that, no editing, stuff like that. Now, I'm gonna start this up. This is another bug that I'm working on. I will address it very soon to fix it. So when you click on start server and it did that, applied missing files, you will get a warning. This is only supposed to be for servers that need the config file edited before we're like fully running them. But I don't know. I gotta figure it out why it's doing this for copying. It shouldn't, but it's an easy thing. All you do is just click open config file. It'll give you a warning saying, hey, it doesn't exist. And the reason why it don't exist is because a lot of times the servers have to run at least once to create the config files, the save files, the world's files, stuff like that. So you can ignore this if you get it. It's not gonna affect nothing. So what you can do is go back and click on start server again. This will start the process. Now, since we turned on start or update on start and backup on start, it's gonna do both of those. So right now it's doing backup, and then it's gonna go to update. So that way it's backing up all your save files. And the way I made it to be easy for everyone and friendly and not searching through Explorer down here, File Explorer, and then trying to dig and find where all your files are, I made it simple, easy, where you can actually, it's a button, open server folder, it'll automatically go right to wherever the server is located. And here's the server. Now when it makes a backup, it will copy every one of these files and then put it into a zip folder. So if you have a mod that you want to put in, you click on that button, it brings you here, you put it in. Yes, Synix doesn't have a function yet for mods to be installed. It's all manually right now for where you have to do it. So that's the only downfall about Synix. But I have a big list I'm already going through trying to make Synix better than what it is right now. With the safeguards, the checks, like features, I mean everything. I'm just a single person developing this. So I made it easy. But it's still doing a backup right now, so I will show you, because you can pull up the folder. So we go to backup files. Here it brings you out right to the folder. You don't have to do much. And all you gotta do is just get it right here. So because it hasn't finished yet, I can't open it until then. But it's basically copying your whole server. It's not nitpicking and saying, hey, save only the world save or the server settings, or it's not doing that. It's actually saving the whole server itself. And it will only save a backup of 3. So meaning you can only it only saves 3 backups. And then it'll start reusing and always keep the most recent saved. This is just so you don't put too much on your hard drives and you still have room. I could make it where it saves 5 backups or 6 backups. I'm trying to keep it low so you still have backups, but also not using up all your hard drive. Now, you've seen that this popped up. This is by the game. Synix does not do this. This is for firewalls, so we're going to hit allow. So every game, when it opens, it will give you a window like that to allow their game to put a firewall rule in Windows Firewall. So it can communicate out and in, stuff like that. So Synix will never ask you for admin, will never edit your firewall, will never go into the system files, doesn't monitor nothing that deals with your system. The only thing it monitors is the servers that are running. And SoulMask that's why I got the warning, because SoulMask was starting up. So, and you can see there's a monitor. This monitors the overall. So if I have all these servers running, it's basically calculating only these 3 servers together, nothing else. And it's going to tell you exactly how much RAM all those servers are using together, CPU. Now I can also click on this and it's going to give me more information about the PID, server name, CPU usage, RAM usage, the executable that's being used. This is the same info you already get in your task manager. So if I go to my task manager, go to process, now I do have the game running on the computer as well as plus the server. So I'm pretty sure, nope, that's the game, that's the server. I know because of this right here. So if I right click on this, go to details, and we'll just do that so you can see. And you can see the PID, if it would stop jumping around, is 32200. Well, same thing here. The executable, the name, same right here. This is how Synix monitors what's going on with the servers. So it gives you the correct info of how much CPU usage it's using and RAM. And then also the total usage of all the servers that are running. And it's going to give you, it's going to take all those and calculate them together and tell you exactly how much RAM and CPU it's using. So we're going to close that. We're going to close that. Now, I'm not going to start Rust. I can, but because Rust is so heavy on starting, it will make the video lag. So we know SoulMask is running, and the other thing is the IPs that are shown here are clickable, meaning you can click on them and it goes to your clipboard, and then you can take it and paste it in Discord or a friend's message or wherever. So there's no highlighting and hitting Control C or right click, paste and copy, none of that. It does it for you by clicking. Now, the other thing I added in here, since we do have the server running, see, it's running, is I can also see if it's communicating to, from my computer to the router. So meaning if I have other games that I'm playing and they're only hosted on your internal LAN, meaning the computers that are all connected to your router inside, I can test to see if it's seen. So basically it's saying, hey, no, it can be seen. Firewall's not blocking it. So anyone on your LAN network can see the server. Okay, so what about, can it be seen out on the internet? Out in the World Wide Web. So we can test that. So connection public test. Hey, it can. That means your router's not being blocked and you're actually communicating from the internet to the game server. They can see each other. So meaning people can connect to it from other states, other countries around the world. So that means everything's good. Because the only thing you have to do that Synix cannot do is port forwarding. Port forwarding has to be done by you in your router. There is no way for me to make Synix do that for you. There technically is, but your router would have to have UPnP turned on. But that's a security risk because that's basically a function in your router to allow programs to communicate with your router to say, hey, open this port, do port forwarding, stuff like that. By default, from every router, that's turned off. And it's a security risk, and that's why. So, the port forwarding is the only thing you have to do yourself. Other than that, Synix will do everything else for you. So, the other thing I didn't talk about that you've probably seen in the settings is, I'm going to go to edit settings here, is app port. App port is basically like, everyone that plays Rust knows that Rust has a app, Rust Plus app that you can put on your phone to get alerts and stuff like that. That's what this is. Now, the way Rust works is they want ports that are over 10,000. So this is another port you would have to open in your firewall as well and forward it. And this is TCP. These are UDP, TCP. There is a help guide in Synix to tell you the difference. So, but you can edit it. So like Rust doesn't use server password here or admin, so you can see it's still locked, but that's not. Archon's not. But all right, let's close this. Now, the other thing is, it also has a built-in config file editor. So here's the editor. This is on Rust because I have it selected. So I can go in here and edit the config file. Whatever's in the config file. It doesn't add, I haven't added a feature where you can add another thing to it. This is just pull and edit. That's it. So now I'm gonna think that's, oh, and what I was talking about, there is a help thing. This is gonna be a long process of everything I gotta add on here. But it's a start. So if you got a problem, you can go out here, you can go to my Discord message, post in my Discord, stuff like that. So, and then you got start, restart, stop buttons. Restart will shut down the server and restart it back up and go through its process. The webhooks do work. You can see this is the new one I just made right here. So you can see it said starting, manual shutdown, crash detected. This will all be posted on your Discord when you use the alert. Update, validate, that allows you to update your game server, just clicking a button. It'll, as long as the server's all offline, or shut down, it won't do it while it's already running, but it'll use Steam CMD and see if any files have to be updated. Validation is basically the same thing, uses Steam CMD to verify the files. And then you see me use open server folder. That'll take you right to the server folder location. Same with the backup files. Alright, so next thing, why don't we do is show you it's online. So you already seen I did the test, it all shows okay. So now what I'm going to do is show you on the game itself. I'm going to switch over real quick. So here's the game online. Stop. Private. I got say captors at 255, even though I put 500. Some games do cap their player limits. Some don't. Like Rust, I believe you can have 1,000 player limit. The only reason why I can see it at the top of my list is because of the ping. It's sorted by ping, you can see, and it's 7. So what we're gonna do is, we know this is my server, so we're gonna double click on it, put password in, test, confirm, and then we're gonna see if it connected. And I already know what it is because I can see it on the other screen. I will switch screens after it shows you that I'm connected. So Synix will basically do everything for you. So you just pretty much point and click, and that's it. There's no plugins that you got to go and find. There's no arguments you have to go and Google. There is how to build a batch file to start the server. None of that. All right, you see I'm on the server. I'm gonna back out of that. Go back to this. And what I'm gonna do is now show you. Crap, I forgot to show you. Go back to I'm gonna go back to, so test. Okay. Reconnect, and I'm going to show you I'm connected on the panel. So let me go over here, go to different screen. Now you can see I am on the server, and you can see the player count is 1. So it did count it. It does see I'm on the server. It does update. So everything's showing, like I said, resources, everything. And it's a small footprint that the control panel uses, so I could show you task manager. Go right to process, and then right here. It's using maybe about 50 megabytes. It depends on what's being going on the thing. But it is a small footprint. You can see 0.2% CPU, 41 megabytes. So it's very small, lightweight. And then Linux will pretty much do everything. The only thing, like I said, is you got to do port porting. You have to do that yourself. There's nothing I can do about that. There are some bugs right now, but they're minor. It is fully functional. It is fully working. Now you're going to see the number change to 0 as soon as I log back to the main menu. But they went to 0. So that's the only thing downside I can't do to help you. There are a lot of tutorials out there to explain, show you how to do it. I'm not going to make one. I'm basically just gonna do Synix, that's it. But the other thing I haven't told you is when you go to edit, oh wait, you gotta set server, stop. When you do stop, it does a soft boot, soft shutdown, meaning it sends a command to the server and say, hey, time to wrap it up, time to start down, shutting down, do your process. After a certain amount of time, if it doesn't finish, it will, Synix will send a command and say, hey, time's up, gotta go. And it will kill the server right on the spot. So there's no other button that you gotta push to force the server to stop. Synix is already detecting that, hey, you need to stop and close. If the server crashes, it will automatically already know, hey, you crashed, gotta start back up. So there's a lot of safeguards in Synix I already put in. Things that allow, well, safeguard you and your computer and your servers to prevent any stability problems, stuff like that. The other thing is with the resource monitoring, I do have 98 gigs. You can see on there, I do have 98 gigs of RAM. But when you install Windows, you get to like 94 gigs, somewhere around there. But then I have Synix also saying, hey, I'm going to also subtract about 7 gigs from that. So Windows never hits, so it never hits 100% usage. And that helps the stability of your server. So, and it's also got another failsafe. So if you use about 80% of what's shown on total, you cannot start another server until you go below. This is a safeguard just so you don't try to like overdo your computer and max out your CPU or your RAM, and then your servers that you're hosting end up having stability problems, corruption, lag. So it's just to prevent all that. It's just so your computer, servers, it's all healthy, stays that way, and you get your 100% uptime. You're not going to get 100% because sometimes Windows likes to crash or likes to do an automatic restart, or the internet may go out. That's the only time you'll lose connectivity or servers going down or stuff like that. So you are safe from overloading your computer. Even with those safeguards, you can run this on a 16 gig RAM. You might only get it maybe 1 or 2 servers at most running at once. I will give you a tip though, if you want to get a little bit higher on that to bypass the limit, to get maybe 3 servers, but I wouldn't push it too much because you don't want to max it, is if you start all the 3 of those servers at once, because then Synix can't really tell that it's already using that much RAM and CPU. Because it takes time for servers to start up and start building up how much RAM they're using and stuff. But that is on you if you max out your computer, and me just telling you how to bypass it. So you want to cook your computer, make it into an oven, there you go. But yeah, everything is pretty much self-sustained. You don't have to make no batch files. You don't have to look up arguments. You don't have to look up why my server is not being listed. You don't have to do the research. I've already did all that. And I did this because I play video games with friends, and I'm the one that's always hosting the server on my computer, or if I'm paying a hosting company, and that could get expensive. So this is why I made Synix. It's basically a hobby and a passion that I wanted to make it easier for me to host servers, because I grew up when batch files were the thing that you had to use for everything. So I'm old school. So batch files can be overwhelming for people that don't know them or how to do them. So that's why I developed this. It's just so it makes it easier for you, that you don't have to go through all that hassle and research and Googling and just to figure out how to get your server to run and be listed and connected to. There are other control panels out there. Mine's just one of many. And there are good control panels out there. Some use plugins to add more games to their list they can install. Some are web-based, some are Dockers. And there's pros and cons with those. The one thing I don't like is the plugin part that includes games into the control panel, and that's only because those are community based, shared, or you're finding a plugin online, and that plugin could be a malicious thing that is going to run as soon as you start the game and may destroy your computer or hack your computer or whatever. So with Synix, you don't have to worry about that. That's why I programmed in over 250 games into the database. It's all internal database that has everything you need. Now, I couldn't test all of them because I don't own all the games. I did have to use AI to get some information on like the arguments and the app IDs. That's about it. But it is an extensive database, and it's going to grow bigger. And it's going to be edited. And I'm the only one that can do that because I have to do it in the code. Because it's not like I could put the database right on GitHub and pull from it, but I'm trying to make it limited on communicating with the internet. So that way you have the satisfaction that this is not doing nothing malicious. It's not communicating with the internet. All it is doing is creating you a game server. That is it. And that just allows you to actually host it, allow your friends to play on it, and also allow you to have your free time to play on it and not worrying about a server because the control panel is already doing it for you. The other thing cool about the control panel is that you do not need Synix to be actually running while the servers are running. If you don't want to see this, you don't have to. You can close it. It's literally closed. But the game server, well, I didn't have one running at the time, sorry, will stay running. So if I actually go back into here, well, what I'm going to do is actually start up, give you a demonstration of what I mean. So what we're going to do is turn off this, and that. We don't want that starting up. So yeah, that will be addressed. Trust me, that is annoying. Alright, it's gonna launch. And it also displays the default arguments that are already being used, even to include ones that you put in yourself to be included. So everything's transparent. It's gonna give you as much info as possible what's going on. So that way you can know exactly what's going on everything. So the server's running while it's initializing. So I don't have to have this open now. I can close it. And Synix is going to know it's still running. So if I go back into the control panel, still says it. Even the uptime hasn't changed. So everything will stay the same. Even if the server crashes, the only time the server, this is closed and the server crashes, it won't restart because Synix has to be open. That's the only thing. Because it doesn't hide in the background. When you close it, you close it. It's not running. So everything's still the same. Everything's still running. So what we're gonna do is stop. So, like I said, this is a passion. This is a hobby of mine. I've been working on it for a few weeks. To make it easier, I wanted it to be used with anyone, from kids to an adult to person that don't know how to run a server or even think that they can't do it on their own computer. When pretty much 90% of the computers nowadays can run game server right off their computer. It's just people don't know how to use it, how to set it up, how to use it, how to do anything. So that's where Synix comes in. It does it for you. You don't have to be a genius. Like, I'm not a genius. The only reason why I know how to do the stuff that I do is because I grew up in the era when you had to use batch files and command lines and stuff like that. But I made it say Synix can pretty much do everything for you. And the features are going to get, there's going to be more features. Like, I want to add a thing where if you double click here on the server, it brings up the server info that you put, the details that you put in your settings. Because if this server is running, I can't open, I have it so it's locked. You cannot edit the server while it's running to prevent it from corrupting by mistake by the user. So there will be more features added to enhance more things to the user that they can do. I'm also going to add a feature where if you're a streamer and you want to hide, and you're streaming and you want to hide the info on the panel, it could be a button. So now if the streamer accidentally shows his Synix control panel, the IPs are hidden, whatever other info that will be hidden for them. So there are going to be more features coming. When you start Synix, you may get a warning from Windows. You may get a blue screen that says, hey, the program's trying to run. It's not a trusted program. Or you may get a smart lock one it's basically the same thing, but it's just displayed different. Where it'll say, hey, the program is not licensed or anything like that. That just means that my program don't have a code signing certificate that validates the program to be safe with Windows, because you got to pay for those. Those are yearly paid, and they're not cheap. You're looking at, I believe, like minimum $300, and then on top of that you have to be a business to even get one. So to get a code signing certificate, I'm not a business, I'm just a self-published, self-developed hobbyist. I can't get it. I have to have a business pay for it, get it for me and do all that. So you will get alert. Don't worry, Synix is never going to ask for admin privileges and will never touch anything that deals with your system. It doesn't monitor nothing on your system. It's only to monitor the game servers that are running. That is it. Other than that, it's self-sustained. So the one thing I am going to show you before I wrap up this video is, if you go to open servers, like I told you, Synix has its own directory. So it's in the C drive, and then Synix. It's not even in program folder that Windows uses for its system. So you can see Synix data, Steam CMD, games is where the servers are installed, and backups. So if you go to games, this is how it works. Is you go to games, whatever game you pick will be actually the folder that it'll go into. So mine was Soul Mask, and then it was this one, and now it's going to use the server name as the folder name. So if we open this up, here's the server. Now if we go back to Synix's directory, you'll also see that it has backup, Soul Mask, and then here's all the backups that I was doing on testing. Now when you delete a server, like I'm going to show you right here, So this is the new one. And before I delete it, so you can see there's a backup. So what I'm going to do is just go back one. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to here, server actions, server options, delete server. Gives you a warning. You want to confirm? Yes. Server's deleted. And it's also going to say that the server JSON file was updated. That means it's taking out your server info that you use. But it's not deleting your backups. These are stored no matter what. It doesn't destroy them. So you could take this and put it on another computer and just start it. And it'll run. So you never have to worry about your backups being deleted when you if you click delete on that. If I go back, and like I said, Steam CMD, as soon as you start, first time starting this, it will start installing Steam CMD into the directory. And it will download and install it. So this is what's being used to install your games, update your games, validate your server games. And then Synix data is basically logs, and then this is the file that gets edited when you edit a server or add a server. This is all the info that is saved, that is needed. Everything that's technically needed to run the server is not in here, because Synix uses its own database to pull the info you need from the app ID, the executable file that needs to run, the arguments, all that is all hard-coded into a database. So some of that is actually still being used when you start the server. So everything that is needed is not technically in that file. It's only, the file is only what you set from the server settings and a few extra things. That is it. And it is editable. You can edit that file and change whatever. And it will change on Synix as well. So that's pretty much about it with Synix. That gives you full control over whatever game server you want to host. This is brand new. It is still in beta right now. I just released it in beta. There might be issues, like you've seen it on the video, that there was still some issues that I'm still working out, but majority of this works. It's the small minor issues that are popping up. That's it. Like text or a window popping up. That's it. But running a server, no, that's 100% working. There's no problem with that. So you can get it, download it, the extractable, or not the extractable, the executable file right from GitHub. I will also have it linked in my Discord, and I will have GitHub and Discord links in the description down below. And then if there's a game on here that is not on the server list, you can message me on Discord or submit issue on GitHub requesting a game to be added, and I'll look and see if I can find the arguments for it, what has to be done, and then add it to the database. And then push out an update, and you can pretty much update. And that's the other thing I forgot to explain. So if there's an update, a newer version of this, say you got a server running, you can close it, go get the update version, and download it, and then reopen it, and nothing changes. And all the features will be added. So that's the other thing that's cool about downloading an update for this. While the servers are still running, it won't affect the servers running, and still monitor them when you reopen it. So And like I said, it does everything for you. You are pretty much in full control of everything. And it's easy for anyone to use. The only game I will deny right now is Minecraft, and that's because that uses a whole different set of situation on trying to install that game. Because that's Java based or Microsoft based, so it's different. But everything else is pretty much already installed for you. So enjoy, and I hope it makes it easier for you, and you don't have to play on control panels that need you to do commands or plugins, or you're 100%. You don't have to worry about none of that. And that's why I put a big database into it with all the games of over 250 games. So just point, click, type. That's all you got to do. So thank you for watching this video. I know it's a little long, and I hope this whole thing was a demonstration. I will be putting guides out that are going to be shorter to set up a server and stuff like that. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment. Even if you comment the game that you would like to add that's not in the list, you could do that as well on YouTube. I will see it. So, but on that note, but thank you for checking out Synix and what it is capable of, and what you can do on it, and how easy it is to host your own game server right on your computer. And like I said, a good majority of the computers nowadays can run game servers. It doesn't matter if it's only one server, two server, three server. Synix can do as many servers as your hardware allows. The Synix is only Windows based. It is not Apple. It is not Linux. It's only for Windows. So thank you for watching, and I will be posting new videos, and hope to hear from you in the comments of how I can improve, how I can make this better, and games to add, stuff like that. Even if you're criticizing me, go ahead. I don't take offense to it. So thank you, and take care everyone, and be safe.